Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of SparkDouble. In today's episode, we are going to be playing Professor Onyx and Rowan and Will as our main Planeswalkers of choice for today's deck. Of course, this deck has been submitted to me by one of my patrons, Jay Patel. Thank you for the idea behind this deck, and yeah, your list or your creation is going to be featured on the channel. Of course, my patron and my supporter has asked me to make some tweaks for the deck and just create my own version for the deck. And that's what we came up with, right? So, Professor Onyx, Rowan, and Will, and Jay also wanted me to play Arcane Bombardment in the same deck. Of course, I've been having. So I spent like 2 days, I think like 2 days worth of time creating this deck and tweaking it, and I've been having like, sort of an up and down kind of time when it comes to this deck. Obviously, Arcane Bombardment and Professor Onyx synergize well with each other, but within today's standard, you're almost never going to have enough time to basically have both of them on the battlefield. You're either struggling because you're dying. It's just too slow, terribly slow. So, my he also wanted me to have hand hate, which is also very slow, to be honest. The deck was just really slow. Like that, I tried to maintain the idea as authentic and as much as he wanted as possible, but this is what I came up with here. So let's break down the list and go from there. It's going to be a standard best of one list with average converted mana cost 3.2, 0 creatures, 35 non-creatures, and 25 lands. Now, since we're playing Arcane Bombardment, with Professor Onyx, we're going to need a lot of instants and sorceries and a lot of things that are potentially going to cost less with Rowan and Will. And I had what's it called? Fable of the Mirror Breaker instead of Seize the Spoils. Fable though is just terrible at the moment for me, to be honest. Fable is terrible mainly for the reason that people has cracked the code. If you let Fable go, you'll lose the game. So almost everyone knows that you need to remove the shaman, you can't have your opponent ramp, or you need to remove the enchantment itself. So what I wanted was for me to get my ramp as soon as I cast the card. I can't wait next turn until I attack with the shaman and hope that it doesn't get removed. So I had to remove the Fable to get an instant treasure off of Seize the Spoils and discard a card and draw cards as well. So we're running for Play with Fire because it's the most, I guess, like flexible card with Arcane Bombardment. Like if they don't have any creatures, you can just hit their face and do a lot. We don't need to rely on creatures or on them having creatures. It's the most flexible one because just in case it's best of one, what if you're playing against control, and they don't have any creatures? You can't cast something like Voltage Surge unless you have a creature of your own or a planeswalker, and now you're going to have to target your own stuff. So we don't want that to happen. Play with Fire, very standard here with Arcane Bombardment. 2 Voltage Surges because we need an extender, right? 4 copies isn't enough, so Voltage Surge, and since we're making a lot of treasures as well, we can benefit off of that. 1 Test of Talents to remove Invoke Despair and to remove Vanishing Verse, right? It's our tech card / protection for Arcane Bombardment and our Onyx here. Invoke Despair is still very heavy in the meta, so Test of Talents deals with that, and you'll see what I'm talking about in the gameplay. Check for traps. They wanted Graveyard Hate, so I had to include a form of Graveyard Hate here. It's a great card as well. It's better than the rest, and it's better than Dreadfugue when it comes to this deck because it's the most flexible one, right? You can discard any non-land permanent. It doesn't have to specify. So if you have one in the graveyard and it gets exiled with Arcane Bombardment, it's a discard spell every turn. They also wanted a learn spell that can be fetched with Arcane Bombardment as well. So Hunt for Specimens had to be the one. They were planning on playing that one, I forgot its name, but the one that gains you 4 life, the black and green one. I had to cut that. I'd rather have a blocker, to be honest, than to gain life. And this blocker also gains you 1 life, which I guess is relevant. And especially if you exile it with Arcane Bombardment, you're gonna most likely do this every turn and have a ton of pests and a ton of life gain. Within the sideboard here, we have necessary cards over here as well. 2 Infernal Grasps, aggro kills you quickly. You need to set up, obviously, for your Arcane Bombardment and Professor Onyx, and you need as much removal as possible. 4 Tainted Indulgences, it draws and discards, so without Tainted Indulgence, this deck would not work, surprisingly, because you need something on turn 2 that can recycle through your hand, just in case you open with a 2-land hand. If you miss playing Seize the Spoils or Big Score, you're going to miss out on the entire game. So Tainted Indulgence betters your draw in a way, or cycles through your hand. Unlicensed Hearse here is my tech card of choice, and I'm going to put this in every bombardment deck moving forward, and since it's best of one, it can play an important role against Memory Deluge, Underdog, or anything that utilizes the graveyard, like those surprising graveyard decks or reanimator decks. Also, you exile anything that you don't need from your graveyard so that your bombardment hits better, or hits only the cards that you want. Rowan and Will here, pretty straightforward. You can opt to play Rowan on turn 3 if you want, but people just are too scared of Rowan for some reason, so they always remove Rowan, but it's fine. I'd rather they remove the Rowan than to remove like a Arcane Bombardment or a Professor Onyx. Also, Will is pretty clutch. Will draws cards, so it's pretty good, and I like the fact that they lower the cost of your instants and sorceries. Seize the Spoils, we already talked about that. Better for me than Fable here, especially since it's a sorcery as well. It's going to synergize much better than a Fable does with Rowan, with Onyx, and with Bombardment here. Big Score as well is extra necessary. You need to ramp as fast as possible into an Arcane Bombardment. We only have 1 copy of Invoke Despair here because we absolutely need as many Burn Down the Houses as possible. You need to survive until you start casting these, and since you have Unlicensed Hearse, you can possibly even keep 1 copy of Invoke Despair in your graveyard and just fetch it easily with the Bombardment. 3 Burn Down the House. Burn Down the House is great because you can make Devils or excuse me, deal with Planeswalkers. It's pretty good. Yeah, it kills your own Planeswalkers, but it doesn't matter at that time. When you have your Arcane Bombardment and it's going, you really don't need your Planeswalkers anymore. So Burn Down the House is extra necessary. And we get down to a finisher of ours here, Professor Onyx. Synergizes so well with Arcane Bombardment. It can gain life whenever something is cast off of the bombardment, so it's an extra drain. So you can opt to go for Invoke Despairs and go heavy on this synergy here, but it's just too slow. It's terribly slow, so you can't really do that. Your win rate will sink. So 1 Invoke Despair, 1 2 Onyx, 2 Bombardments, and 1 Magma Opus here. Within the mana base, we're running 25 lands. We are going to flood sometimes, but it's fine. It should be fine since you have a lot of discard spells. You can get rid of the lands here. But 25 lands is very important because you need to hit a 3rd land on turn 3 to hopefully cast the Seize the Spoils to open up your hand and to ramp as much as possible. Also for Big Score here, it's very important. And since it's 3 colors, you want all your 3 colors. So 25 lands had to be. Honestly, you can probably run like an Otherworldly Gaze or a Consider here, and keep the Tainted Indulgences and run 24 lands if you find an issue with flooding. That would be my fix for that issue. But in order for you to reliably run a 4 copy of Consider or Otherworldly Gaze here to better your draw, you need to cut one of these here. And cutting one of these, could be bad, could be good. You never know until you test it out. And I haven't tested out that theory yet. So within the sideboard, we have 1 Environmental Sciences, 1 Teachings, Introduction to Prophecy, and these are all fetchable with Arcane Bombardment. 1 Illuminate History, which can recycle through your hand and create you a creature as well. Since we're going to be discarding a lot of cards, we're going to end up having a 7 or more cards in the graveyard, so it's going to end up creating you a untapped spirit creature. 2 Mascot Exhibitions, and I focused on the exhibition here because eventually we want to discard it and we want our bombardment to hit. Also, it costs 6 with Rowan and Will, and it plays well with Professor Onyx as well. It's like an overkill with Onyx basically. And then 1 Confront the Past, just in case we need to get our Planeswalkers back. We have Reach here. So the only thing we don't have in the deck is like Artifact Hate, and you can probably run instead of Seize the Spoils, you can run Prismari Command, and I think it would be a little more diverse than Seize the Spoils, and especially since it's an instant as well. I think, honestly, now that I think of it, I think Prismari Command would be the better choice here, but I don't have 4 Prismari Commands. I have only 3, I think, and I'm not about to craft one. Also, since it's gonna rotate out, I believe, and also Seize the Spoils here. It's just I mean, it's Prismari Command. Almost always you're going to have like to choose other options, right? Like to kill an artifact or something like that, or to deal damage. So you're not gonna get the treasure and the draw and discard off of it, although it can be pretty good. But keeping Prismari Command out of the deck makes sure that you're always playing this card only for one reason, which is to ramp and discard. While when you have Prismari Command, you're going to have that itch of trying to basically choose other options within the card. So I guess that's one reason why I didn't have it, but it is a better card overall in my opinion, especially since it's an instant. It works very well with Arcane Bombardment. So yeah, that does it for today's episode for SparkDouble. Thank you, Jay Patel, for suggesting the deck. It's been I struggled with this, but I love the challenge, and it was definitely challenging to make this work. Hopefully you are satisfied with this version. This is going to be my last version of this list, and yeah, if you and for the rest of you guys, if you like the video, if you like the gameplay, make sure you like the video. It'll help me out greatly. Also subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll see you guys later with another episode. Okay, bye. Okay, keep this. Let's try it out. Should be interesting. Okay. Mono red. Okay. Nice. Drawing a land is always good. Always. And maybe we should have played ROWAN. Yeah. But this is a better play. That's why Fable is so fragile for me at the moment. Okay. Mono red. Since I have the mana, I would like to keep Invoke Despair in hand, I guess. Drawing 2 lands is pretty terrible, to be honest. Okay. They're deciding. I guess next turn we can kill the Fable here, but they do get to better their hand, you know. Mono red though, we stopped their ramp, I guess, which is pretty good. We also have a big voltage surge. They discarded Goldspan? Are they missing lands? Maybe they do have an extra Goldspan here. Chandra.
This little candle's gonna set your world on fire.
Okay. That's fine.
Watch me heat up the dance
Ooh,
floor.
we have a pretty good Invoke Despair here. And we can hold up a Voltage Surge for a Goldspan next turn. And that's pretty good. A board wipe. 3 for 1. Yeah. You can't save it with your red cards. You can deal some damage to me, but that's about it. Discarding the Goldspans was a terrible idea from our opponent there. But if they have another one, I'd rather just... I mean... 1, 2, 3... 1, 2, 3. We can Rowan and Big Score, but they have Den. Den is pretty bad. If we play Will here... Not gonna play anything here. We're just going to Big Score. Yeah, they have Den. Which is pretty bad for us. we can top deck a burn spell, that'd be great. No burn spells, okay. Alright, let's Tainted Indulgences here. Oof, the lands are unforgiving. Unforgiving. The lands are unforgiving, seriously. I don't know what to do. You knock it down, you don't draw lands. That's unforgiving. The risk of drawing lands is so great, oh my god. Oh. Please don't draw any more lands. We drew so many. Thank you. Okay, they can't attack us with the den forever, but this puts us way behind. Of course, drawing that many lands puts us way behind. Slow goblin deck. Yeah, easily dealt with. We're gonna deal 2 damage here, but I am gonna burn down the house. We also need to find a burn spell for that den. It's such a headache. I'm gonna try to look for it here, but still lands. A ton of lands, bro. Okay. Just a ton of lands. How many lands do we have left? 12 lands left, bro. In a 35 card deck. Okay. You never know, they might top deck a Goldspan as well, which would leave us absolutely dead. Yeah. A den is punishing when you're drawing lands, that's for sure. We only drew 1 Play with Fire and 1 Voltage Surge, and we have so many left in the deck. Punishing. And in a deck like this, you can't run Field of Ruin. It's obvious. It's gonna cause another issue with the deck. Another den. Please draw me a removal spell. Please. Oh my god. Still drawing lands. Still. Oof. Okay, at least we can do something about dens now. Ten lands left in the deck. They're still going for the den here, I guess. I mean, they're trying to have an explosive turn or save up the cards that they have in hand here. Not top decking anything. Not gonna lie, the indulgences have been good. They've been kind for us here, but so far so bad. Maybe I should have saved one there, yeah. Punishing. We can still kill that, I think. Yeah? Nice. Well, no, we can't anymore. because of the exile effects, right? Finally. Oh my goodness, finally. But I've been digging and digging.
I just need to be patient.
We only have one red source, which is pretty bad. One red source and a lot of red cards. I guess we can seize the spoils here. Discard the lands. Yikes. Okay. Well, that's good for now. Puts a dent in their plan. Much more though. I think this is where we equalize, to be honest, but they still have 3 cards in hand. They can have hasters as well. Another Goldspan dragon as well. So we're still not out of it yet. You can have a Goldspan dragon and a burn spell. That can kill us, for sure. We're not drawing ONYX or our bombardment card, but man, it's been a frustrating game so far, not gonna lie. 9 lands in the deck, 25 cards. Yeah, they're still trying to abuse us with the dens here. Den is not really going to do anything. Let's put a stop here. Let's make some blockers with the Illuminate History, since we have a ton of, you know. Yeah, it's fine if you kill Will. I really don't care. You got the draw off of Will. Let's draw some more. Indulgence has been a great card so far. Not gonna lie, but these lands. Okay. Let's illuminate these away. Still drawing lands. Let's take a look at that hand though. We drew a Infernal Grasp, which is good. Let's take away the Battle Cry Goblin because it can give them haste. Let's play our ROWAN here. Make this into a...
Doesn't matter the occasion. Don't worry, this won't take long. I'll make quick work of you.
Make the Grasp into a 1/1. Goblins, fine. Voltage Surge is a great draw.
I don't even need my sword to win.
We pass. Yeah, I'm gonna try my best here. We don't have a treasure for the Voltage Surge, but I guess it's for the Den and the Grasp. It's for the Hobgoblin, but yeah, now it's different. Oh, it's really different. They have 1 card in hand. Okay. Let's see what they want to do here. They've got 1 damage. That's fine. We're gaining life. Perfect. Okay, now is when we seize the spoil.
Welcome to Witherbloom College.
Okay, since we have Surge, I'm going to get rid of this Goblin
It
here.
was going to die eventually anyway.
No attacks. We have Test of Talents, which is great. We have Voltage Surge, which is also great. For the Den, yeah, I think we're doing really well here. Let's put a stop. We gain life, which is pretty good. Submit 0. Nice. That's when they quit the game, usually. Yeah, no more dens. You've done your job here. Let's see what we can top deck here. Where are my
Come on,
bombardments?
there's gotta be
Hello?
something useful. Ugh.
Let's deal some damage with the Rowan. Yeah,
I
it's
don't
dealing
even
3
need
damage.
my sword to win.
Is that enough? Not really. So I guess we don't attack. I guess we can afford to attack here, but not really. Let's play it safe. Rather safe than sorry. We've battled it out this far. Yeah, that's pretty much game. Oh, we had lethal actually. Professor ONYX would have drained them. Yeah. We had lethal. Yeah, I guess I missed that. Let's deal with that. Let's drain some more. Yeah, next turn is game. We deal damage with the Rowan. And that's game. Nice. Nice. We got there finally after a long and hard, frustrating game of just top decking land after land after land and drawing lands. Didn't even find a single bombardment, but we got there with the ONYX and the Rowan. Nice. Alright. We need the black. But we also need the red. We have both. I guess we keep this. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll get punished. Or maybe not. Which is pretty good. Okay. So we're not going to have any blue. But that's fine by me, to be honest. We don't really need the blue that much anyway. So might as well just hold up play with fire. Just in case we need to do something here. Check for traps. Oh, I guess that's the only thing that we can't really deal with. Okay, so mono black control withdraw like elixir. This is interesting. As long as they're slow, we're doing fine here. They can kill a Rowan if we play a Rowan, so I guess we just don't. We can play the hearse here. And scry with the play with fire, which I don't hate. Hearse definitely betters our bombardment, but we do need to find the land though desperately. Yeah, we're a slow deck for sure. Let's try to find that land. We found the land. Okay. Now we have to decide on what we discard. Probably the play with fire, maybe? We don't know. They're a control deck. So we do need burn down the house because their payoffs are probably Planeswalkers. Rowan dies though, but if we can get a draw off of Will, yeah, I'll keep Will. If we can get a draw off of Will here, that's interesting. Yeah, a ton of lands, of course. Same issue over and over. Test of talents. We wait. We wait. We wait. Invoke Despair should be a very good one here. Man, 2 Field of Ruins though. Yeah, that's gonna screw with us for sure. That's fine though. Let's pass. Okay. Bombardment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice. And we do have Test of Talents. That has to be good. Okay. So what we need to do here. Yeah, let's just play the bombardment here. I want to counter a Invoke Despair. That's my primary goal. Unless they have, they're not gonna have Feed the Swarm. It costs too much life. Perfect. Okay, so let's unlicensed hearse here. Our own graveyard. Let's remove the play with fires. And let's close out the game. Let's close out that game. No more threats. Mono black suffers when they don't have anything to remove that with. So yeah, Loath, Blood on the Snow Elixir, Soul Shatter. They do have Feed the Swarm. Nice. But yeah, that's pretty much game. That's the idea behind Test of Talents. One copy is usually for the Vanishing Verse and the Invoke Despair. Unlicensed Hearse cleans up our graveyard so we can get whatever we want, which is usually either big score or check for traps, which can continuously hit their hand, and then we go from there. Perfect. Perfect. Next turn, we draw with Will. We play Will. We draw with Will, because we still have treasures, and then we can cast an instant or sorcery again if we top deck one. So GG's. Alright. No blue. This isn't a keepable hand, to be honest. Okay, this deck has been a headache so far, to be honest. This deck has been awful to play. But, you know, it's a request, so we have to make something work out of it. Okay, Jouari. Yeah, against control we suffer. I mean, against any deck we suffer. It's just Rowan and Will are kind of too slow. And also ONYX and Bombardment in the same deck is just a nightmare. Let's just get the hearse down. Okay. A 1-mana artifact. Probably a Tezzeret deck, huh? Ooh, we're tapped. That sucks. I didn't know it was ninjas. No, now I know, I guess. Acquisitions expert. Yeah. Let's get rid of this Rowan here. We're probably never gonna cast it anyway. Yeah, seems good for them. For sure. This is not ideal. Not ideal. Yeah, they're gonna tap that. It's pretty helpful. A lot of tap lands from our opponent. Oh, can they dodge it with ninjutsu? That's insane. Oof, that's bad. Yeah, they can Jouari that. Yeah, we're doing pretty bad. We're doing really bad. Okay. ONYX is too slow for me. Please go away. At least we've got something so far. I don't want them to return this to hand, but at the same time I don't want them to return that to hand, so let's just kill that. Tapping's better than discarding, that's for sure. But it seems like they're spent. Let's draw. Yeah, discard the land, of course. It's problematic so far. Okay. Yeah. That's okay. My graveyard of Voltage Surge and Play with Fire. Sure. Oof. Bad. Bad, bad, bad. Okay. I have to discard here something. So the reason why I exiled the Rowan is just in case they play a Zerzan. They can't get the Rowan off of my graveyard. So I guess we need to exile Professor Onyx as well, since we're probably... Well, we still have a chance of getting her back, right? Yeah? That's a problem. And that card never works because it always is going to get removed. But look at what we're drawing here. Oh man, that's interesting, isn't it? Lands, bro. Lands are the #1 issue of this game. They're the thing that ruins decks, and they're the thing that makes decks work. Test of talents, me. Okay. It's a 8/8. You never know. Enough with these. Find me a real threat. Well, better yet, I hope you don't. Yeah, March is not going to do it. March isn't going to do it. Spell Pierce isn't going to do it as well. We still have mana up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Another one, of course. Your graveyard. Let's see. Let's actually keep one of these. Let's exile the Seize the Spoils as well. I wonder what they have in hand. If they counter this, it's pretty problematic for me. Yeah, I'm tapped out, no cards. Seize the Spoils, I guess. I mean, another Play with Fire. I want my Bombardment really bad, actually. They have no idea what we're up to here. I'm just trying to dig here. I really am. Okay, that's a payoff card, I guess, for everything we've done.
You really
Let's
wanna
not have
fight
it
me?
threatened here. Or no
Sorry,
ninjutsu
don't
at
make
least.
trade.
Let's keep exiling stuff from my graveyard. Oh, nothing. Okay. Alright, so that went well. Nice. Okay. Alright. I've been having a up and down kind of time with this deck. Playing against control is not going to be good for us.
Hope you're ready for some mind games. Bet you can't catch
Okay.
us.
Yeah. We're gonna draw a ton of lands. Of course. Of course, of course, of course, of course. Oh man.
Thanks.
I've been having a terrible time with this deck, to be honest. Like, it works, it can win, but they're Esper. Funny. Funny.
Now, what do we have here?
What is that? What are you playing, opponent? We're gonna counter this, but I mean, it's okay. Yep. We have to go for it. There's nothing else we can do.
My
You have to kill Kato. At least this is unlocked now. Another Kato, of course.
no secret is safe from me. Thanks. I'll be taking that now.
You're not top decking any white lands. Maybe because you're running a ton of basics, opponent. You ever thought about that? So I mean, what's the play here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope.
I may be a new. I just need to be patient.
Okay. Oh, finally. Congratulations. Void rend the will. I mean, we got value off of the will. It doesn't really matter anymore.
I've got all kinds of connections.
Yeah. We can't really arcane bombardment into a vanishing verse like that. Nightmare. Nightmare. I don't want to spend my treasures for it to get countered. Yeah, they're sitting on a lot of counter spells here, so what do we do? I mean, what do I discard? We do need to make mana here. Oof. Discarding that sounds like a terrible idea. Has to be the despair here, bro. Has to be. Has to be the despair. See, they're even thinking about countering something like this. What makes you think they're not going to counter and invoke despair? That's like countering and invoke despair is like a Christmas gift. Interceptor. Yeah. I can't believe they still get value off of the Seize the Spoils, bro. Like, really? Wow.
Now let's put you on ice.
Sucks, man. What a nightmare for us. We had to discard 2 cards. What a nightmare. I would hate to lose against a terrible Esper deck like that one.
There's no secret I
Exotic pets,
can't
what, for the
uncover.
Kato? Because they can't get blocked? Okay, so? Ooh. Yeah.
You reek with terror. My power is for annihilation.
You need to slow down.
Please hit a burn down the house, please. Nice. Goodbye, Will.
I'm hungry.
This is why I didn't want to fight.
We will. Subservience will be.
Nice, what a draw. We can play with fire on their turn as well to get value before they vanishing verse it. That's something. Okay, let's see what they want to do with this. Hopefully just minus it.
Get in, get out.
Mm.
Easy mission.
Okay.
Now, what do we have here?
And that's game. Because we can burn down the house Decado on their turn. Nice.